The Honeymoon Mystery at Sea. The Beginning. A Dream on the Mediterranean. The Mediterranean Sea, where golden sunset meet the endless horizon, and the water sparkles like liquid sapphire. For many, it's the destination of dreams, and for one young couple, it was meant to be the start of a lifetime together. In July 2005, 26-year-old George Smith Ford, a charismatic man from Connecticut, and his new bride Jennifer Hagel boarded a luxury cruise ship for their honeymoon. It was the kind of trip most couples only imagine: romantic evenings, world class dining, and the freedom of the open sea. Friends and family recall the couple as vibrant, adventurous, and deeply in love. They wanted to celebrate their marriage with an unforgettable journey across the Mediterranean, visiting Italy, Greece, and Turkey along the way. The first days were pure bliss. The cruise ship offered everything: grand staircases, sparkling pool, elegant ballroom, and lively late night parties. George and Jennifer were seen strolling hand in hand, taking photos on the deck and laughing at the salty wind tangle their hair. Passengers later remembered George as friendly and outgoing, often chatting with other travelers at the ship's casino or enjoying drinks with the new acquaintance. Jennifer, more reserved but always smiling, seemed to balance his energetic personality perfectly. They explored ancient coastal cities by day and danced under the stars by night. To anyone watching, they were the perfect couples living the perfect honeymoon. But the ocean, as beautiful as it is, can also be unforgiving. And beneath that shimmering blue surface, sometimes it hides the darkest secrets. The happiness of their honeymoon would shatter suddenly, and one of them would never see home again. The Vanishing. It was the night of July 5th, 2005. The ship floated quietly between Greece and Turkey, surrounded by endless darkness and calm waves. That evening, George and Jennifer joined other passengers for dinner and drinks. Witnesses later said the night was lively and filled with laughter, but there was also moments of tension. Some reported heavy drinking and a few heated exchanges, typically of late night cruise energy. Sometimes, after midnight, the couple returned to their cabin, but George would never be seen alive again. The next morning, Jennifer was found asleep in a different area of the ship, and George's bed was empty. When the cabin steward came to clean, he noticed something chilling. A dark streak, later believed to be blood, marked the lifeboat canopy just below their private balcony. The alarm was raised, searches began, passengers were questioned. The massive ship was gone from top to bottom, but George was gone. Theories swelled among guests. Did he accidentally fall overboard after a night of drink? Was there a fight that turned fatal? Or did someone else know more than they were saying? The ship, however, continued its journey. The ocean stretched endless in all directions, and any chance of rescuing him diminished with every passing hour. By the time authorities were contacted, the Mediterranean had swallowed its secrets whole. Witnesses told investigators they heard loud noises and even a possible thud in the early morning hours, but no one could say for sure what happened behind the cabin door. And just like that, a honeymoon had turned into a nightmare, and a young man had vanished into the vast, silent sea. The ocean keeps its secrets. Authorities quickly became involved. The FBI joined the investigation, boarding the ship to collect evidence and interview passengers. Security cameras, witness statements, and cabin checks became the focus of the inquiry. But the cases were already slipping away with the current. There was no arrest, no conclusive evidence, and no recovered body. every theory was circumstantial. Some passengers whispered about a tragic accident, suggesting George may have lost his balance on the balcony after a night of celebration. Others suspected foul play, a late night confrontation, a push, or a moment of violence that ended in tragedy. George's family refused to give up. They pressed for answers, believing that crucial details were being overlooked. But as weeks turned into months, the case remained frustratingly unsolved. The ocean, they say, never lies, but it also rarely speaks. And in this case, the Mediterranean kept its secrets, leaving only grief and unanswered questions in its wake. Over the year, true crime enthusiastic investigators and journalists have continued to revisit the mystery. The story even appeared on national television, sparking public fascination, but no one has ever charged, and George Smith's disappearance remains a haunting maritime enigma. The honeymoon that began in joy ended in heartbreak and endless mystery. One family still waits for closure, one love story ended in the deep Mediterranean, and the question lingers: did George fall or was he pushed? The sea may know the answer, but it isn't talking. What do you believe happened that night? Accident or something more sinister? Share your thoughts below, and if you want more mysteries told like a cinematic story, subscribe and join us on the next journey into the unknown. Thank you. If you like the video, kindly like, share, and subscribe and keep motivating us. Thank you.